It's David. I hope it's okay if I answer via video. It's easier for me, and I can give full answers this way. And this is also my first look at these questions, so this is my first earnest, honest reaction. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry that you didn't hear back from you earlier. I guess I was waiting for the questions, and here they are. How did you get started in journalism? Um, so yeah, I guess in terms of I, I mean, again, during college, near the end of it, like senior year, I wrote a little bit for the Daily California, which was the student newspaper at UC Berkeley. And I also actually had an internship at the Nob Hill Gazette, my senior year of college. And when I look back on it, I hated that internship. But I would BART into the city. I would organize photos for them. Basically, Nob Hill Gazette was like it still is, like a high society kind of magazine for Nob Hill, which is a fancy part of San Francisco. Um, and but then after I graduated, I was interning at the Commonwealth Club magazine. I learned InDesign there and things like that, mostly transcribing speeches, and then started out as an intern at Wired, and they just never got rid of me. So that's kind of how it all got started. How did your philosophy degree influence your idea of how journalism should be? I did philosophy and rhetoric, and actually, when I think about it, I think the rhetoric may have had more. What I studied in rhetoric was kind of this idea of the flow of information and how it's evolving. And of course, this is after the first .com bubble burst, but before the second sort of Web 2.0. And I definitely think there was sort of an appreciation for what was possible with the internet, but not quite a realization of it. And so, I think that was partly what pushed me towards journalism, is this idea of and I wanted to be involved in this idea of information flow evolving, but I wasn't quite sure how. How did you and Megan meet and when? Megan is my wife. We met actually in college through a friend. We started dating when I was a junior in college. And I had known her for about a year, but then we went on a date after about a year. I was a junior, just at my apartment. We watched a movie. How and when did you know she was the one? Um, uh, I don't know. I don't really remember. But we've obviously been together for a long period of time. We took some time apart. I lived in New York for a little bit, and things like that. But she's been my partner for a long time. What are you doing in business at what were you doing in business at that time? Well, when we first started dating, not much. I was a stoner. And then she's obviously been with me through the start of my career, what I just talked about when I was an intern at Wired. Again, not necessarily through some of my time in New York, but she's been with me through the majority of my career. What were her feelings in the beginning about your work? I don't really know. I didn't really ask her in the beginnings about she's always been very supportive of what I do, and has always been very supportive, and likes that I'm passionate about my work. How have they changed since then? I don't really know, again, if they have changed. I know she's always been very supportive of me. How does she support me now? Um, she's my wife. um, I kind of, I mean, she again is always very supportive of what I do. She likes that I'm, passionate about my work. I maybe work too hard, but she understands that, and she sort of gives me the space that I need sometimes to work long hours. How, if is she involved in your business life? Do you consult her in moments of distress in business for emotional support? Could you give an example? I think it's the same as any married couple. I mean, we obviously talk. I tell her about my day, things like that. So I don't know if I can really paint a picture of a moment in our married life. But that's what it is. It's sort of, it's a couple. We're married. We talk. Um, Or if you keep business out of the relationship, why? I mean, obviously, during the day, I'm at work and I'm working. We occasionally will talk or text or G-chat during the day, but for the most part, I'm working, and she's working as well. She is a plant. She's working on her PhD in plant genetics at UC Berkeley. So I wouldn't say that I keep it out, but they are definitely distinct. How has she helped you in your success with emotion and confidence hurdles? Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of hard to answer those questions. You know, it is a loving, marriage and relationship. So she's certainly helped in my success in the sense that I have a very nice and caring partner. So I hope these answer your questions. I apologize. The ones about my marriage and stuff are not necessarily the ones that I'm used to getting, so I kind of don't know how to react to them. But if you have more questions, feel free to send them my way.